Welcome back to the shop. I cleaned it up a little bit since the last video tour I posted. Done some reconfiguring, moved the bench out away from the wall where it's a little bit more convenient to work on. I can walk around it now. Not only that, I can access all the tools that are in the cabinet without having to reach over the bench. So this is going to work out much better. The reason I'm here today is to talk about the bench. I've been looking at a lot of workbench porn on the internet lately, and boy, there is just some magnificent stuff out there. Some of the benches that people are building with fancy knee vises and leg vises and so forth in the end, and all the hardwood and exotic joinery, and they're just beautiful. Check him out if you get a chance. The one in particular, I believe he calls himself Mr. Carter. Mr. I don't know, he's just a kid. He looks like he's about 20 years old, but my God, his workmanship is just beyond anything I've ever seen. That kid's a genius. But at any rate, I knocked this together about probably 10 years ago from a set of plans that was in one of the woodworking magazines, I forget which. Woodworking or Woodworkers Journal or one of those, and it's just made out of Doug Fir 2x4s, some plywood, but it has really turned out to be a really good bench. It's worked out well for me with for the things that I do. We'll go through it real quick. This is it shows the top. It has dog holes. Here's a wooden dog that I made with a little spring on it to hold it in place. And that's for the tail vise, which is nothing more than a clamp. And it was shaved down here, so it'll fit up into this slot. And then the other end of the clamp is just, this is it right here actually, and it's just screwed solidly into the clamp. So when you want to use this vise, you just lift this up, and it raises that. You turn the screws, and you can tighten things up against the bench dog. Real simple, real easy. There's a lot fancier vices out there, but this has worked well for me. The reason I thought I'd put this together is more for this vise here. I've seen some different vise videos, and a lot of them are pretty involved and require some pretty fancy stuff. This guy's cutting threads on wooden dowels, and it's beautiful. And if I ever hit the lottery and I'm able to afford the wood, maybe one of these days I will. I think my skill set is at the point where I could probably build a pretty fair bench. But this has worked out well for me, and I made it out of a pony clamp. You can see it here, and it had a little crank handle on it for a while, but I decided I didn't like the way it looked, so I just cut the crank off and welded a piece of tubing here and just, knocked together this handle out of some dowel. I didn't even have a lathe when I made this handle. I actually, to be honest, don't even remember how I made these ends. I think I might have cut them out with a hole saw. I don't remember. That's what age does to you. This is a quick release vise by simply moving this lever. It catches the release fingers on the other end of the pony clamp. You can see it in operation here. And there's the pipe that comes off of the pony clamp, passes through a piece of angle iron. Actually, this is angle aluminum. This piece is just something I had laying around the shop, so I used it. And there's the pipe up here passing from through the bench jaw, through the angle iron and back, and it's just the pony clamp there is just drilled and screwed to the angle iron. So, and this is a little handheld camera. Let's see if I can operate this. I'll push the little release here with my knee, and you can see the vise slides right out. And it comes out quite a bit farther than that. It comes out opens up about a foot. There's a couple pieces of steel rod in here, a 3/4 inch steel rod, I believe it is, and I just drilled with a Forstner bit into the this jaw, which is just 4 pieces of 3/4 inch plywood laminated together. I took a grinder, just ground notches and scuffed up the end of this back here real good, and just epoxied these into place. And for my purposes and for everything that I've done, it works out real well. There go the clamp shut. The screw is short, but since the way the vise is configured, it doesn't matter. It only has, this much, I guess you call it throw, but you just, push the vise in, and you can clamp anything you want into it. So I ended up, I often thought about putting another dog hole right here so I could clamp things this way, but I've never needed it, so I just never got around to doing that. And the vise it isn't that rigid where if I were to clamp something in here, it would probably rack the vise over and knock it out of alignment. So I'm not really interested in changing anything around at this point. So total cost of the vise, it was all made out of, other than the pony clamp, which are, I don't know, what do they cost? I haven't bought one for years. They're probably around $10. It was all built from just scrap pieces I had laying around the shop. I had the steel rod. I had, like I said, the piece of angle iron. And I'm a welder and do machine work and things like that as well. So I've got this kind of stuff laying around. But even if you had to buy the materials, buy the rod and buy the piece of angle iron and buy the pony clamp, you could build this whole vise for under $20. And it's, it may not be as good as the store-bought vises, and it certainly isn't as good as the the leg vises that you see on some of these Robu-style workbenches, but for a cheapskate like me, this worked out great. So just thought I would share this with you YouTube viewers and let you see what I've done. So this is it for now. Thanks for visiting. Any questions and comments will either be appreciated or ignored. Thanks for stopping by.